I installed the nanny cam because I wanted to see my daughter's day while I was at work. What I saw instead destroyed my marriage and my relationship with my mother-in-law forever. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I was in a meeting when I got an alert on my phone. The nanny cam had detected motion in the living room. I almost ignored it, but something made me open the app and check the live feed. My 5-year-old daughter Lily was sitting on the couch crying, and my mother-in-law Carol was leaning down, speaking directly into her face. I couldn't hear the audio from my meeting, so I saved the clip to watch later. When I finally got to my car and pulled up the recording, I heard words that made my blood run cold. "Your mommy doesn't really love you, sweetheart. She just pretends. That's why she's always at work instead of home with you. Real mothers stay home with their children. But your mommy cares more about her job than she cares about you." My 5-year-old daughter sobbing. "But mommy said she loves me. Of course she says that. But actions speak louder than words, don't they? She leaves you here with me because she doesn't want to be with you. But don't worry, Grandma Carol loves you. Grandma Carol will always be here for you." I drove home shaking with rage, confronted Carol immediately, showed her the video, demanded she apologize to Lily and never speak to her like that again. Carol laughed. "It's the truth. You are neglecting her by working. I'm just helping her understand reality." Then I showed the video to my husband Derek, the man I'd been married to for 7 years, the father of my child, and he said, "Mom has a point. You do work a lot. Maybe Lily needs to hear some hard truths." That's when I knew my marriage was over, not because of Carol's cruelty, but because my husband heard his mother tell our daughter I didn't love her, saw our child sobbing, and defended the person who did it. This is the story of how a nanny cam exposed my mother-in-law's psychological abuse, how my husband chose his mother over his daughter's well-being, and how I had to choose between staying in a toxic marriage or protecting my child. My name is Jessica Hayes. Well, Jessica Mitchell now, though I'm seriously considering going back to Hayes. I'm 33 years old, and I'm a senior marketing director at a tech company in Seattle. I met my husband Derek when I was 26, and he was 28, both of us working in tech, both of us ambitious and career-focused. "You're the first woman I've dated who actually gets it," Derek said on our 3rd date. "Who understands that building a career takes time and dedication? My ex-girlfriends always complained that I worked too much. Same with my ex-boyfriends," I said. "They wanted me to be available 24/7. Couldn't understand that I have goals beyond just being someone's girlfriend. We were perfect for each other. Both driven, both successful, both planning futures that involved corner offices and 6-figure salaries. We got engaged after a year, married 6 months later, and planned to wait 5 years before having kids. Build our careers first, then start a family when we were established. Then I got pregnant accidentally when I was 29. We'd been married 3 years. The timing wasn't ideal, but we were ready enough. We could afford childcare. We both had good jobs. We'd make it work. My mom will help," Derek said when I expressed worry about balancing work and a baby. "She's been wanting grandkids forever. She'll be thrilled to babysit." I'd met Carol Mitchell exactly twice before we got married, once at a family dinner, once at the wedding. She lived in Portland, about 3 hours south of Seattle, so we didn't see her often. She seemed nice enough, pleasant, normal. What I didn't know was that Carol had very specific ideas about gender roles, motherhood, and women's proper place. And those ideas were about to collide violently with my career and my identity. Lily was born on a beautiful spring morning. 7 pounds, healthy, perfect. I took 12 weeks of maternity leave, the maximum my company offered, and spent those weeks falling completely in love with my daughter, while also losing my mind from exhaustion and isolation. I need to go back to work. I told Derek when Lily was 10 weeks old, "I love her, but I need adult interaction. I need to use my brain for something other than diaper changes and feeding schedules." "That's fine," Derek said. "We'll find good daycare. Or maybe my mom could come stay with us for a while." "Help out?" Carol jumped at the opportunity. Within a week, she'd packed up her Portland apartment and moved into our guest room temporarily to help with the baby. That was 5 years ago. She's still here. At first it was helpful. Carol watched Lily while I went back to work. She handled the daytime feedings, the diaper changes, the naps. I came home to a clean house, dinner cooking, and a baby who was fed and content. "You're so lucky," my coworkers with kids said. Live-in childcare? That's the dream. But there were comments, small ones at first. You're going back to work already? Lily's only 12 weeks old. Don't you think that's too soon? I took my full maternity leave, I'd say. 12 weeks? When I had Derek, I stayed home for 2 years. He needed his mother. Different families make different choices. Carol would say. That particular sound that conveyed disapproval without saying it directly. As Lily got older, the comments intensified. You're missing so much. Her first steps, her first words, I saw all of those while you were at work. I see her evenings and weekends, I'd say, trying to keep my voice level. That's quality time. Children need quantity time too. They need their mothers present, not checking email in the next room. Carol, I appreciate your help. But I need to work. We have a mortgage. We have bills. Derek makes plenty of money. You could stay home if you wanted to. You just don't want to. She was right about that. I didn't want to stay home. I loved my daughter, but I also loved my career. I loved solving problems, leading teams, building strategies. I was good at my job. I'd worked hard to get where I was. There's nothing wrong with working, Derek would say when I complained about his mother's comments. Mom's just old-fashioned. She doesn't mean anything by it, but Carol did mean something by it. And as Lily got older, Carol's comments started being directed at Lily herself. Mommy's at work again, Carol would say when picking Lily up from preschool. But Grandma's here. Grandma's always here. I miss Mommy, 4-year-old Lily said once in my hearing. I know, sweetie. But Mommy's very busy with work. More important than spending time with you, apparently. Carol, I snapped. Don't say that. I'm just being honest. Children need honesty. Children need to feel loved and secure, not manipulated. Derek overheard that fight. His response? Mom didn't mean it that way. You're being oversensitive. I should have seen it then. Should have recognized that Derek would always take his mother's side. But I was tired, juggling a demanding job and motherhood. And I wanted to believe that my husband would eventually stand up for me. When Lily turned 5 and started kindergarten, I thought things would get better. She'd be in school most of the day. Carol would have less time alone with her, less opportunity for poisonous comments. But Carol started picking Lily up from school. I'll get her, Carol insisted. You're working. It makes sense. I can adjust my schedule, I started. Don't be ridiculous. I'm here. I'm happy to do it. You focus on your career. The way she said career made it sound like a disease. So Carol picked Lily up from kindergarten every day. Spent the afternoons with her until I got home around 5:30. And during those hours, I had no idea what Carol was saying to my daughter until I installed the NANNY CAM. I didn't install it because I suspected anything. I installed it because I wanted to see Lily during the day. The camera was in the living room, angled to capture the couch and play area. It had motion detection and audio recording. The company that made it marketed it to parents who wanted to check in on their kids and caregivers during work hours. I installed it on a Monday, told Derek about it. Why do you need a camera? He asked. Mom's here with Lily. I just want to see what Lily does after school. See her playing, doing homework. It's like a window into her day. Whatever, Derek said. Seems unnecessary, but if it makes you happy. I didn't tell Carol about the camera. Not because I was hiding it, the camera was obvious, sitting on a shelf, but because I didn't think to mention it. She'd notice it eventually. The first few days of footage were exactly what I expected. Carol helping Lily with homework, making her snacks, watching TV together. Normal grandparent stuff. Then came Tuesday. I was in a 3-hour strategy meeting. My phone buzzed with a motion alert from the camera. I glanced at it, saw it was just Carol and Lily in the living room, and ignored it. When I got back to my desk an hour later, there were 6 more alerts. Unusual. Typically there were only 1 or 2 per afternoon. I opened the app to see what was triggering so much motion. The live feed showed an empty living room, but I could see in the timeline that there had been significant activity between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. I scrolled back and pressed play. The video started with Carol and Lily coming home from school. Normal. Lily dropped her backpack, went to the kitchen for a snack. Carol followed her, talking about something I couldn't quite hear. Then they came back to the living room. And Lily's face was scrunched up, that expression she got right before crying. But I made you a card, Lily said, her voice small. At school. For you. That's very sweet, honey, Carol said. But Mommy won't care. You know Mommy doesn't really care about things like that. I went cold. Rewound. Listened again. Mommy loves my cards, Lily said, starting to cry. She puts them on the fridge. She puts them on the fridge because she feels guilty, Carol said, sitting down on the couch and pulling Lily close, not in comfort, but in control. She feels guilty for never being here, for always choosing work over you. Mommy doesn't choose work over me, Lily sobbed. Mommy says she works so we can have nice things. That's what she tells you, Carol said, and her voice was so gentle, so caring, so absolutely venomous. But the truth is, sweetheart, your mommy doesn't really love you. Not the way a real mother should. Real mothers stay home with their children. Real mothers make their children their priority. But your mommy cares more about her job than she cares about you. I stopped breathing, stared at my computer screen. My 5-year-old daughter was sobbing, and my mother-in-law was systematically destroying her sense of security and love. But Mommy says she loves me, Lily said through tears. She tells me every day. Of course she says that, Carol said. But actions speak louder than words, don't they? She leaves you here with me every day because she doesn't want to be with you. If she wanted to be with you, she'd stay home. That's what I did for Derek. I gave up everything to be his mother. That's what real love looks like. Why doesn't Mommy love me? Lily asked, her voice breaking my heart through the computer speakers. Oh, honey, I don't know, Carol said, hugging Lily tighter. Some women just aren't meant to be mothers. They're too selfish, too focused on themselves. But don't worry, Grandma Carol loves you. Grandma Carol will always be here for you, even when Mommy isn't. I watched the rest of the video in stunned silence. Watched Carol spend 30 minutes telling my daughter that I didn't love her, that I was a bad mother, that my working meant I was selfish and uncaring. Watched my daughter cry and ask why her mommy didn't want her. Then I watched Carol give Lily milk and cookies, put on a cartoon, and act like nothing had happened. Like she hadn't just psychologically abused a 5-year-old child, I saved the video, downloaded it to 3 different locations. Then I grabbed my keys and left work 2 hours early. I was going to confront Carol. And then I was going to have a very serious conversation with my husband about his mother living in our house. I drove home in a fog of rage so intense my hands shook on the steering wheel. My phone rang twice, Derek probably wondering why I'd left work early, but I ignored it. I needed to handle Carol first. When I walked through the door at 3:45 p.m., Carol looked up from the couch where she was sitting with Lily. Surprised. You're home early, she said, that fake pleasant tone. Everything okay? Lily, sweetheart, I said, kneeling down to my daughter's level. Can you go play in your room for a few minutes? Mommy needs to talk to Grandma. Okay, Mommy, Lily said, but her eyes were red and puffy from crying. She'd been crying less than an hour ago because my mother-in-law told her I didn't love her. As soon as Lily was upstairs, I pulled out my phone and played the video. No preamble, just the recording of Carol telling my daughter I didn't love her, that I was selfish, that real mothers stayed home. Carol's face went through several expressions: surprise, calculation, then defiance. You recorded me? She said. That's an invasion of privacy. This is my house, I said, my voice shaking. I can record whatever I want in my own home. And you just told my 5-year-old daughter that I don't love her. You made her cry. You deliberately tried to damage her sense of security with her mother. I was just being honest with her, Carol said, standing up to face me. You do work too much. You do prioritize your career over her. I'm helping her understand reality. Reality? I repeated, incredulous. She's 5 years old. She doesn't need your version of reality. She needs to feel loved and safe, and you're systematically destroying that. I'm giving her stability, Carol said. Someone needs to, since you're never here. I'm here every evening, every weekend, every moment I'm not at work. I love my daughter more than anything in this world. Then act like it, Carol said coldly. Stay home with her. Be a real mother instead of pawning her off on me so you can play career woman. Get out, I said. Pack your things and get out of my house. Carol's eyes widened. You can't kick me out. I live here. Derek wants me here. I don't care what Derek wants. You psychologically abused my daughter. You're not staying another night under this roof. We'll see what Derek has to say about this, Carol said, pulling out her phone. Yes, I agreed. We will. Derek arrived home 20 minutes later, summoned by his mother. Carol had spent those 20 minutes in her room, loudly packing while occasionally coming out to announce I was being hysterical and overreacting. What's going on? Derek asked, still in his work clothes, briefcase in hand. I played the video. Watched his face as he heard his mother tell his daughter that her mother didn't love her. Watched him watch Lily cry and ask why Mommy didn't want her. When the video ended, I waited. Waited for him to be as outraged as I was. Waited for him to tell his mother she'd crossed an unforgivable line. Instead, Derek said, "Okay, that's not great. But Mom was just trying to help Lily understand why you're gone so much." I stared at him. "Excuse me? Look, Mom shouldn't have said you don't love Lily. That's too far. But Jess, you do work a lot. Maybe Lily does need to understand that sometimes Mommy's job is demanding. Are you seriously defending this?" I interrupted. "Your mother made our daughter cry. She told her I don't love her. She's been filling her head with poison every day after school. And you think that's not great, but basically okay?" "I'm not saying it's okay," Derek said, frustrated. "I'm saying Mom has a point about your work schedule. You're the only mother I know who works 60 hours a week." "I don't work 60 hours a week," I said. "I work 45, maybe 50 during busy periods. Normal for my position. And even if I did work 60 hours, that doesn't give your mother the right to tell our daughter I don't love her." Carol, who'd been lurking in the hallway, stepped into the room. "Derek, she's trying to kick me out. After everything I've done for this family, after 5 years of raising your daughter while she's off building her precious career." "You haven't raised my daughter," I snapped. "I've raised my daughter. You've been helping. There's a difference, is there?" Carol challenged. "Because I'm the one who's here when she wakes up from nightmares. I'm the one who makes her lunch and helps with homework and knows all her friends' names. You see her for 2 hours before bed and call yourself a mother." "That's enough, Mom," Derek said, but his tone was mild. "Pleading, not commanding, is it?" Carol pressed. "Because someone needs to say it. Jessica is neglecting that little girl, and I won't apologize for helping Lily see reality." "The reality," I said, my voice dangerously quiet, "is that you're a bitter woman who's jealous that I have a career and you didn't. You're projecting your regrets onto me and using my daughter as a weapon, and I'm done with it. You're leaving, today. Derek?" Carol looked at her son, tears forming. "Are you going to let her talk to me like this? After everything I've sacrificed for you?" Derek looked between us, his mother crying, his wife furious, and I saw the moment he made his choice. "Jess, let's not be hasty," he said. "Mom lives here. She helps us. We can't just kick her out over one conversation." "One conversation?" I pulled up my phone. "This is from today. Want to see yesterday's footage? Last week's? How many times do you think she's said this stuff when the camera wasn't running?" "You've been spying on my mother?" Derek said, and his tone shifted. Now I was the villain. "I installed a NANNY CAM in our living room," I said. "A camera I told you about. A camera your mother would have noticed if she'd bothered to look. I wasn't spying. I was documenting. And thank God I was, because now I have proof of what she's been doing to Lily." "What she's been doing is raising your daughter," Derek said. And there it was, his true opinion, while you're at work, which is a lot. Mom's not wrong about that. "So you're taking her side," I said flatly. "Your mother told our daughter I don't love her, made her cry, has been systematically undermining my relationship with my own child, and you're taking her side." "I'm not taking sides," Derek said. "I'm trying to be reasonable. Yes, Mom went too far, but you're not innocent here either. You do work a lot. You do miss things. Maybe this is a wake-up call." "A wake-up call," I repeated. "Our daughter is being psychologically abused by your mother, and you think this is a wake-up call for me to work less?" "I think," Derek said carefully, "that maybe both of you need to make some changes. Mom needs to watch what she says, and you need to consider whether your career is worth missing Lily's childhood." I looked at my husband, really looked at him, saw him clearly for the first time in years. He was his mother's son, completely, utterly, unquestioningly, and he would always choose her over me, over Lily, over anyone. "I'm calling a marriage counselor," I said. "We're going, tomorrow if possible, because this," I gestured between us, "is not sustainable." "I'll go to counseling," Derek said. "But Mom stays. We're not kicking her out. She has nowhere else to go. She has an apartment in Portland. She could go back. She gave that up 5 years ago to help us. To help you, I corrected. I never asked her to move in. You invited her without asking me. You said it was fine, because I was a new mother drowning in postpartum exhaustion. I shouted. I would have said yes to anything that promised help. I didn't know she'd be here 5 years later telling my daughter I don't love her. Lily appeared at the top of the stairs, crying again. Stop yelling! Please stop yelling! I ran up the stairs, pulled my daughter into my arms. I'm sorry, baby. Mommy's sorry. We're done yelling. Why is everyone mad? Lily asked, crying into my shoulder, because Grandma said something that wasn't true and it made Mommy upset. But it's okay now. What did Grandma say? I looked down at my daughter. 5 years old, innocent, deserving of truth. Grandma told you that Mommy doesn't love you. And that's not true, Lily. That's not true at all. Lily pulled back, looking at me with confused eyes. Grandma said you're too busy with work to love me. Grandma was wrong, I said firmly. Mommy loves you more than anything in the whole world. More than work, more than anything. You are the most important thing in my life. Do you understand? But you're always at work, Lily said. And the words were Carol's words, spoken in my daughter's voice. I work so we can have a nice house and food and the things we need, I explained. But that doesn't mean I don't love you. It means I'm taking care of you in a different way, okay? Lily nodded, but I could see the doubt in her eyes. Carol had planted seeds of insecurity, and it would take time and effort to undo that damage. I carried Lily to her room, tucked her in with a book and her favorite stuffed animal. I love you, I said firmly. Never forget that. No matter what anyone says, Mommy loves you. I love you too, Mommy, Lily said, but she sounded uncertain. Downstairs, Derek and Carol were having a quiet conversation. When I came back down, they both looked at me with expressions that said they'd made a decision. Here's what's going to happen, Derek said. Mom is going to apologize to Lily. She's going to be more careful about what she says. And you're going to stop working so much. Maybe go part-time, or work from home more. We'll figure it out in counseling. That's your solution? I said. Carol apologizes and I quit my job? Not quit, just cut back. Lily needs you more than your company does. And who makes up the lost income? We'll manage. I make enough to support us. Of course he did. Because Derek made enough money that I could afford to give up my career, my identity, my independence, and become a stay-at-home mother like Carol thought I should have been all along. This was Carol's plan. This had always been Carol's plan, and Derek was helping her execute it. No, I said. I'm not quitting my job. I'm not going part-time. I'm not working from home. I've done nothing wrong. I'm a good mother who happens to work. Millions of mothers do it. It's normal and healthy, and I will not be punished for it. No one's punishing you, Derek said. We're trying to fix a problem. The problem isn't my job, I said. The problem is your mother living in our house and poisoning my daughter against me. She's the problem, not my career. Mom's not going anywhere, Derek said firmly. That's final. I looked at my husband. At his mother standing behind him, smug satisfaction barely hidden. At the choice he'd made without hesitation. Fine, I said. She stays, but I'm calling a lawyer tomorrow. A lawyer? Derek looked confused. Why would you? Oh, you're not serious. I'm completely serious. If you choose your mother over our daughter's well-being, then we don't have a marriage worth saving. You're going to divorce me because my mother said something stupid? Derek's voice rose. That's insane. I'm divorcing you because you heard your mother psychologically abuse our daughter and defended her, I said. Because you blamed me for her cruelty. Because when forced to choose between protecting your child or protecting your mother's feelings, you chose your mother. That's why, Carol gasped dramatically. Derek, you can't let her take Lily away from you. I'm not taking Lily away from anyone, I said. But I am getting primary custody, and Carol won't have unsupervised access to her ever again. You can't do that, Carol said. I'm her grandmother. Watch me, I said. And I walked upstairs to start packing. I didn't actually pack that night. I was too angry, too hurt, too aware that making major decisions in this emotional state would be a mistake. Instead, I called my best friend Maya and asked if Lily and I could stay with her for a few days. Of course, Maya said immediately. What happened? I told her, sent her the video, listened to her shocked silence followed by furious cursing. Derek defended that? Maya said. After watching that video, he defended his mother. He said she has a point about me working too much. You work a normal amount for your position, Maya said. 45 hours a week is not excessive. And even if you worked 80 hours, that doesn't give Carol the right to tell Lily you don't love her. That's emotional abuse. Of a child. That's what I said. Derek doesn't see it that way. Then Derek's an idiot. Come over. Bring Lily. Stay as long as you need. I packed bags for Lily and myself. Enough for a week. Derek watched from the bedroom doorway. You're really leaving? He said. Over this? Over you not protecting our daughter, I corrected. Yes, I'm really leaving. Jess, come on. Let's talk about this. Don't make rash decisions. There's nothing rash about it. You made your choice. I'm making mine. I carried the bags downstairs. Carol was still in the living room looking victorious, like she'd won something. Running away? She said. How mature. Protecting my daughter, I said. Something you clearly don't understand. I went upstairs, woke Lily gently. Hey, sweetheart. We're going to have a sleepover at Aunt Maya's house. Won't that be fun? Right now? Lily asked, sleepy and confused. It's nighttime, I know. But Aunt Maya invited us, and we're going to have an adventure. Come on. Lily, still half asleep, let me carry her to the car. Derek followed us out. You don't have to do this, he said. We can work this out, can we? Because from where I'm standing, working it out means me quitting my job and pretending your mother didn't abuse our daughter. She didn't abuse. God, you're being so dramatic. She said some things she shouldn't have. It's not abuse. Tell that to Lily, I said, buckling our daughter into her car seat. Tell that to the 5-year-old who cried because she thinks her mother doesn't love her. I drove to Maya's house in silence. Lily fell back asleep in the car. Maya met us at the door, helped carry bags, set up the guest room without asking questions. Once Lily was settled in bed, Maya and I sat in her living room with wine, and I finally let myself cry. I don't know what to do, I said. I love Derek. I thought he was a good father, a good husband. But he heard that video and didn't protect Lily. He protected his mother instead. That tells you everything you need to know, Maya said. A good father would have been horrified, would have kicked Carol out immediately, would have taken Lily to a child psychologist to address the damage. Instead, he's telling you to quit your job. I can't quit my job. It's not just about money, though we need my income. It's about who I am. I work so hard to get where I am. I know, Maya said. And you shouldn't have to choose between career and motherhood. This isn't the 1950s. Carol thinks it should be. Carol's a bitter woman who's jealous of your success. And she's using Lily as a weapon against you. I spent the next 3 days at Maya's house, working from her spare room during the day, spending evenings with Lily, trying to help her understand that Mommy leaving the house didn't mean Mommy was abandoning the family. Are you and Daddy getting divorced? Lily asked on the second day. I don't know yet, sweetie, I said honestly. Mommy and Daddy need to figure some things out. Is it because of me? Lily's eyes filled with tears. Because I was bad? No, baby, no, you didn't do anything wrong. This is about grown-up stuff. Not about you at all. Grandma said you'd leave because you don't really love us. My heart broke. When did Grandma say that? Lots of times. She said you'd probably leave Daddy and me because your job is more important. I pulled Lily into my arms. Sweetheart, that's not true. I love you and Daddy very much, and I would never, ever leave you. Even if Daddy and I can't live together anymore, I will always be your mommy, and I will always love you. Okay? Lily nodded against my chest, but I could feel how uncertain she was. How much damage Carol had done with her systematic poisoning. I called a family law attorney that Maya recommended, explained the situation, sent the NANNY CAM video. This is clear evidence of emotional abuse, the attorney, Sharon Bradford, said after watching. A grandmother telling a 5-year-old that her mother doesn't love her repeatedly is psychological manipulation. It's alienation, and in custody proceedings, this would weigh heavily in your favor. I don't want to keep Lily from her father, I said. I want to keep her from her grandmother. But Derek won't separate them. Then we file for primary physical custody with restrictions on grandmother's access. Your husband can see Lily as much as he wants, but only when Carol isn't present. We can include supervised visitation requirements. Derek will fight that. Let him, Sharon said. We have evidence. Video evidence of his mother emotionally abusing his daughter, And evidence that when confronted with that abuse, he defended the abuser. Family court judges take this seriously. I filed for divorce and primary custody 3 days after leaving Derek. The papers were served to him at work. I knew that was cold. But I also knew if I tried to give them to him at home, Carol would interfere. Derek called me immediately. "You actually filed? I thought you were just upset. I thought you'd calm down and we could talk." "We tried talking," I said. "You chose your mother. There's nothing else to discuss." "I didn't choose. Jesus, Jess. I'm trying to keep the family together. Mom lives with us. I can't just kick her out because you two don't get along. This isn't about not getting along. She abused our daughter. I have it on video, and you heard that video and defended her. I said she went too far. What more do you want? I want you to recognize that what she did was unforgivable. I want you to protect Lily from her. I want you to be a father first and a son second. But you can't do that, so we're done." "You're taking Lily away from me," Derek said, and his voice broke. "That's what this is really about. You're punishing me by taking my daughter. I'm not taking Lily from you. You can see her whenever you want. The custody filing asks for you to have her every other weekend and 1 evening per week, plus holidays. That's standard, but not at our house. Not with Mom there. Not with Carol present, no. She doesn't get access to Lily anymore. That's insane. She's her grandmother. She's her abuser," I said. "And if you can't see that, then you're part of the problem." The divorce and custody battle that followed was ugly. Derek hired an attorney who argued that I was the one, damaging Lily by ripping her from her home, by alienating her from her father and grandmother, by putting career ahead of family. Sharon Bradford destroyed those arguments with the NANNY CAM video. She played it in court, the full 10 minutes of Carol telling Lily I didn't love her, that I was selfish, that real mothers stayed home. Played it for a judge who watched with increasingly horrified expression. "This is what Mrs. Mitchell walked into after work," Sharon said. This is what her daughter was being told, regularly, during the hours Mrs. Mitchell was supporting her family through gainful employment. And when Mrs. Mitchell confronted her husband with this evidence of psychological abuse, he defended the perpetrator. Derek's attorney tried to minimize it. It was one conversation, one unfortunate comment blown out of proportion by an angry wife. One conversation? Sharon pulled up more footage. This is from the week prior, and the week before that, and the month before that. I have hours of footage showing a pattern of psychological manipulation and emotional abuse. Mrs. Mitchell installed the nanny cam to see her daughter's day. Instead, she documented systematic alienation. She played clip after clip. Carol telling Lily that working mothers didn't really love their children. Carol saying I was too busy for Lily. Carol comparing me unfavorably to herself, to Derek, to anyone who stayed home. Carol planting seeds of doubt and insecurity in a 5-year-old's mind. And when confronted, Sharon said, Mr. Mitchell's response was not to protect his daughter. It was to suggest his wife quit her job, to change her behavior rather than addressing his mother's abuse. The judge's ruling was swift. I got primary physical custody. Derek got visitation, every other weekend, alternating holidays, 1 evening per week. But with a critical condition. Carol Mitchell was not allowed to be present during visitation. Mr. Mitchell, the judge said, you may see your daughter as much as the custody order allows. But your mother has demonstrated a pattern of behavior that is harmful to the child's emotional well-being. She is not to have contact with the minor child without therapeutic intervention and supervision. Derek stood in that courtroom looking gutted. You're keeping my mother from seeing her granddaughter? Your mother did that herself, the judge said, through her own actions. If she wants access restored, she can pursue family therapy and demonstrate changed behavior. Until then, the order stands. Outside the courthouse, Derek confronted me. You've destroyed my family. Your mother destroyed our family, I corrected. I documented it. There's a difference. Lily's traumatized. She cries every night asking for me. Lily's adjusting. And yes, it's hard. Divorce is hard on kids. But you know what else is hard? Being told by your grandmother that your mother doesn't love you. One comment. Years of comments, I interrupted. Years of systematic psychological manipulation that you enabled because you wouldn't stand up to your mother. This is the consequence of your choice, Derek, not mine. Over the following months, Derek and I established a careful custody arrangement. He'd pick Lily up Friday evenings, bring her back Sunday nights. Carol was not present. Derek had to do all the parenting himself for the first time in Lily's life. "It's exhausting," he complained during one exchange. "How do you do this every day?" "I've been doing it every day," I said, "while working full-time. And your mother was telling Lily I didn't love her because of it." Derek had no response to that. I took Lily to a child psychologist, Dr. Patricia Moore, who specialized in parental alienation and family trauma. Dr. Moore spent months working with Lily, helping her understand that loving mothers could also work, that my career didn't mean I loved her less, that Grandma Carol had been wrong. "Lily's resilient," Dr. Moore told me after several sessions. "Kids are remarkably good at bouncing back, but she needed professional help to undo the damage. Your mother-in-law's behavior was textbook parental alienation. Will Lily be okay? With continued therapy and a stable environment with you, yes, she'll be fine. But Jessica, you need to be prepared. This kind of alienation often gets worse before it gets better. Carol's access has been restricted, but that doesn't mean she'll stop trying." Dr. Moore was right. Carol tried everything to get access to Lily. She sent gifts to Maya's house. I returned them unopened. She called my office. I had her number blocked. She showed up at Lily's school. I had her added to the not authorized for pickup list with her photo. Then Carol did something truly unforgivable. She filed for grandparent visitation rights. In Washington state, grandparents can petition for visitation if they have an established relationship with the child, Sharon explained. Carol's going to argue that she helped raise Lily for 5 years and deserves continued contact. Even after the abuse? She'll claim it wasn't abuse, that you're alienating Lily from her, that the nanny cam footage was taken out of context. She'll play victim. The grandparent rights hearing was even uglier than the divorce proceedings. Carol showed up looking like a bereaved grandmother, tissues in hand, telling the judge about the 5 years she'd spent raising Lily while I was off pursuing my career. "I love that little girl like she's my own," Carol testified, crying. "I was there for her first steps, her first words, her first everything. And now I'm being punished because her mother is vindictive." Sharon played the nanny cam videos again. All of them. Showed the pattern. Showed Carol's own words condemning her. "Mrs. Mitchell claims she loves her granddaughter," Sharon said. "Yet this is how she demonstrated that love, by systematically destroying the child's relationship with her mother. By telling a 5-year-old that her mother didn't love her. By creating insecurity and psychological trauma. This isn't love. This is manipulation," Dr. Moore testified as an expert witness. Lily showed clear signs of parental alienation when she first came to me. She'd been conditioned to believe her mother's work meant lack of love. She'd internalized messages that working mothers were somehow deficient. It's taken months of therapy to undo that damage. Reintroducing the source of that trauma would be detrimental to the child's progress. The judge denied Carol's petition for grandparent visitation. "Mrs. Mitchell, you had a relationship with your granddaughter. You abused that relationship. You used your position of trust to damage the child's relationship with her mother. That is not behavior that will be rewarded with court-ordered visitation." "But she's my granddaughter," Carol cried. "I have rights." "You have no rights that supersede the child's well-being," the judge said firmly. "And the evidence is clear that contact with you is harmful to this child. Your petition is denied. Furthermore, I'm extending the no-contact order. You are not to approach the minor child, her school, her activities, or any location where she might be present." Carol was escorted from the courtroom still crying, still playing victim. Derek watched her go with an expression I couldn't read. After the hearing, Derek approached me. "Are you happy now? My mother has nothing. No granddaughter, no family, nothing. Your mother has exactly what she earned through her own behavior," I said. "I'm not happy about any of this. I never wanted Lily to lose her grandmother. I wanted Carol to be a good grandmother. She chose not to be. She was trying to help." "Don't," I interrupted. "Don't make excuses for her anymore. Not now. Not after everything. Just don't." Derek looked at his mother being comforted by her attorney in the hallway, looked at me, and for the first time, I saw something like doubt in his eyes. "Did I make a mistake?" he asked quietly. "Defending her?" "Yes," I said simply. You made a terrible mistake. You chose your mother over your daughter, and now you're living with the consequences. Can we fix this? Derek asked. You and me. Start over? I looked at the man I'd once loved. The man who'd stood by while his mother abused our daughter. Who'd blamed me for her cruelty. Who'd taken months to even question his choice. No, I said. We can't fix this. You showed me who you are when it matters. I believe you now. 6 months after the divorce was finalized, I was exhausted. Not just physically, though single parenting while working full-time was legitimately exhausting, but emotionally. I'd lost my marriage. Lily had lost the only home she'd known. And despite therapy, despite my best efforts, my daughter still sometimes asked questions that broke my heart. Mommy, does Daddy love me less now? No, baby. Daddy loves you just as much. We just don't live together anymore. Why can't we live together? Because sometimes grown-ups can't work out their problems. But we both love you very much. Grandma Carol says you took me away from Daddy. I froze. When did you talk to Grandma Carol? She called Daddy's phone when I was there. She wanted to talk to me. She said she misses me and you're mean for keeping us apart. My blood ran cold. Carol had violated the no-contact order. Through Derek's phone, technically legal since she'd called him, but still manipulative. I called Sharon immediately. Carol contacted Lily through Derek's phone. That has to violate something. Technically, she called Derek. He allowed her to speak to Lily. That's a parenting decision. A bad parenting decision that violates the spirit of the custody agreement. Agreed. But hard to enforce unless Derek violated a specific order. Was there language about Carol having no contact during his parenting time? I checked. There wasn't. The order said Carol couldn't be present during Derek's parenting time, couldn't approach Lily, couldn't contact her directly. But it didn't specifically prohibit phone contact facilitated by Derek. Loophole, Sharon said. We'll need to file a modification to close it. In the meantime, document every instance. I confronted Derek at the next custody exchange. Your mother called and talked to Lily. She told our daughter I'm mean for keeping them apart. You need to stop facilitating contact. She called me, Derek said defensively. She wanted to talk to Lily. I'm not going to tell my mother she can't talk to her granddaughter. The court said she can't have contact because she's harmful to Lily. You're circumventing that order. Through a phone call? Come on, Jess. She's on the phone for 5 minutes. She's not doing anything harmful. She told Lily I'm mean. She's still trying to alienate Lily from me. And you're helping her do it. She just misses her granddaughter. Can you blame her? Yes, I said flatly. I can blame her for the abuse that led to the no-contact order. And I can blame you for enabling continued contact, despite that order. I filed a motion to modify the custody agreement, specifically prohibiting any contact between Carol and Lily during Derek's parenting time, including phone, video calls, or any electronic communication. The judge granted it. Mr. Mitchell, the judge said at the hearing, the no-contact order exists for a reason. Your mother's behavior was found to be harmful to the child. Facilitating phone contact is a violation of the spirit of that order. Stop it immediately, or I'll reduce your parenting time. That scared Derek enough to comply. Carol's phone calls stopped, but the damage was done. Lily had been reminded of Carol, had heard Carol's version of events, had fresh seeds of doubt planted. Dr. Moore increased Lily's therapy sessions. We're seeing some regression, she told me. Lily's questioning again whether you love her, whether you're mean for keeping her from Grandma. The phone calls set back months of progress. How do I fix it? Keep doing what you're doing. Consistency, presence, reassurance. It will take time, but she'll get there. The problem is Carol's continued attempts at contact are reopening wounds. At work, my performance was suffering. I'd missed deadlines because of court hearings. I'd been distracted during meetings because of crisis texts from Lily's school or daycare. My boss called me in. Jessica, I need to know you're committed to this job. You're talented, but you've been absent lately, mentally if not physically. I'm going through a divorce, I said. It's been complicated, but I'm committed. I just need a bit more flexibility right now. How much longer will you need flexibility? I don't know, I admitted. Maybe another few months until things settle. My boss looked uncomfortable. Jessica, I'm going to be honest. The company needs someone in your role who can give it full attention. If you can't do that right now, maybe you need to consider stepping back, taking a lesser role until your personal situation stabilizes. A lesser role, I repeated, as in a demotion, as in a position with less responsibility and stress. It would give you time to focus on your family. The irony wasn't lost on me. Carol had wanted me to quit my job, to admit that working made me a bad mother. And now, after fighting to prove that working mothers could be good mothers, my career was suffering because I'd had to fight that fight. I need to think about it, I said. That night, after putting Lily to bed, I sat in my apartment, a smaller place than the house Derek and I had shared, but mine, just mine, and cried. Not gentle tears. Ugly, exhausted, defeated crying. I'd lost my marriage. My daughter was traumatized. My career was in jeopardy. And for what? For standing up to Carol? For refusing to quit my job? For insisting that I could be both a mother and a professional? Maybe Carol was right. Maybe I was selfish. Maybe I should have stayed home, should have prioritized Lily over my career, should have been a real mother instead of a working one. My phone rang. Maya. Just checking in, she said. How are you? Falling apart, I admitted. My boss wants me to take a demotion. Lily's regressing in therapy. Derek's mother is still finding ways to poison my daughter against me. And I'm starting to wonder if I made a huge mistake. What mistake? Maya asked sharply. Leaving Derek? Standing up to Carol? Maybe both. Maybe I should have just adapted, quit my job, stayed home, been what everyone wanted me to be. Stop, Maya said firmly. You're exhausted. You're stressed. But you did not make a mistake. Carol abused your daughter. Derek defended that abuse. Leaving was the only right choice. But look at the cost, I said. Lily's traumatized. I'm about to lose my career. Everything I fought for is falling apart anyway. It's not falling apart. It's rebuilding. And rebuilding is hard. But Jessica, you can't let Carol win. You can't prove her right by giving up now. I'm so tired, Maya. I know. But you're also strong. Stronger than Carol. Stronger than Derek. Strong enough to do this. After we hung up, I looked at my career. Really looked at it, at the job I'd fought so hard for, at the position I'd earned through talent and dedication, at the identity I'd built for myself beyond mother and wife. Was I willing to give that up? To accept a demotion? To let Carol's narrative win? No, I wasn't. The next day, I went to my boss with a counterproposal. I'll work remotely 3 days a week for the next 6 months. That gives me flexibility for custody issues and therapy appointments while maintaining my full responsibilities. In 6 months, we'll reassess. My boss agreed. It wasn't perfect. Remote work meant sometimes juggling. Lily and conference calls. But it was better than a demotion. I also made a decision about Derek. I'd been trying to maintain a cordial co-parenting relationship. Trying to be flexible, trying to show Lily that her parents could get along. But Derek kept enabling Carol's manipulation, kept making excuses, kept prioritizing his mother's feelings over Lily's well-being. I couldn't control Derek's choices. But I could control mine. I implemented strict boundaries. Custody exchanges happened in public places, no more house visits. Communication happened via a co-parenting app, no more personal phone calls. I documented everything, and I stopped trying to make Derek see reason about his mother. You don't have to agree with me, I told Derek, but you do have to follow the court order. No more phone calls with Carol, no more undermining my parenting. If you can't do that, I'll file for contempt and request supervised visitation. Derek realized I was serious. The phone calls stopped. The criticism stopped. We settled into a cold but functional co-parenting arrangement. And slowly, very slowly, things started to improve. 1 year after the divorce, Carol made her final play. She filed a lawsuit against me for grandparent alienation. Is that even a thing? I asked Sharon. Not legally, no. But she's claiming you've maliciously prevented her from having a relationship with Lily, causing her emotional distress. It's a frivolous lawsuit, but we'll have to respond to it. The lawsuit claimed I'd weaponized the family court system against Carol, that I'd manufactured evidence of abuse, that I'd brainwashed Lily against her grandmother. It demanded monetary damages for emotional harm and restoration of grandparent visitation. She's desperate, Sharon said. She's tried everything legal. This is her Hail Mary. Will it work? No, we have video evidence of her abuse. We have Dr. Moore's testimony. We have court orders that found her behavior harmful. This lawsuit won't survive a motion to dismiss. But it didn't matter whether it survived. The point was the harassment. The point was forcing me back to court, making me hire attorneys, making me spend money and time I didn't have. Carol knew she'd lose. She didn't care. She wanted to punish me. The lawsuit was filed in civil court, not family court. Different judge, different rules. And Carol's attorney was aggressive, demanding depositions, interrogatories, production of documents. She's trying to bury you in legal fees, Sharon said. Classic intimidation tactic. I spent 6 months fighting the lawsuit. 6 months of depositions where Carol's attorney asked invasive questions about my parenting, my work schedule, my relationship with Lily. 6 months of producing documents, therapy notes, custody agreements, nanny cam footage. 6 months of stress on top of single parenting and full-time work. Why are you doing this? I asked Carol during a deposition break. First time we'd been in the same room since the grandparent rights hearing. Because you took my granddaughter from me, Carol said, her eyes cold. You destroyed my relationship with her. You turned Derek against me, and you'll pay for it. I didn't destroy anything. You did that yourself. I was helping Lily see reality. You're a terrible mother who cares more about her career than her child. I was protecting her from you. You were abusing her, I said. The court agreed. 3 different judges agreed. But you can't accept that you did anything wrong. I didn't, Carol said. You're vindictive and you've manipulated everyone. But the truth will come out eventually. It already did, I said. On video, in your own words. The case went to trial, not because it had merit, but because Carol refused to settle or dismiss. She wanted her day in court, her chance to tell her story, to play victim one more time. It lasted 3 days. Carol testified about her 5 years raising Lily, about how close they'd been, about how devastating the separation was. She cried on the stand, performed grief beautifully. Then Sharon cross-examined her. Mrs. Mitchell, you testified that you had a close, loving relationship with your granddaughter. Is that correct? Yes. And you expressed that love how? By caring for her, by being there when her mother wasn't. Let's watch how you expressed that love. Sharon played the nanny cam video. The full 10 minutes in court, in front of a jury. Carol's face went white watching herself tell Lily I didn't love her. Is that love, Mrs. Mitchell? Sharon asked. Telling a 5-year-old child that her mother doesn't love her? I was helping her understand, yes or no. Is telling a child her mother doesn't love her an expression of love? I was trying to help her see reality. That's not what I asked. Is it loving to tell a child her mother doesn't love her? Silence. Is it loving to make a child cry by telling her she's not wanted? Her mother was neglecting her. Her mother was working to support her family, like millions of mothers do. But you decided to punish Mrs. Hayes for working by systematically destroying her daughter's sense of security. And you call that love? Carol had no good answers. The jury saw her for what she was, a manipulative woman using a child as a weapon. The judge dismissed the case before it even went to jury deliberation. This lawsuit is frivolous and brought in bad faith. Mrs. Mitchell has no cause of action for grandparent alienation. She caused her own separation from her granddaughter through her documented harmful behavior. Case dismissed. Furthermore, Mrs. Mitchell is ordered to pay Mrs. Hayes's legal fees. Carol's face crumpled. Not sad crying, angry, defeated crying. As we left the courthouse, Derek was waiting. He'd attended the trial, heard the testimony, watched the video again. I need to talk to you, he said to me. We found a quiet corner in the courthouse lobby. Derek looked exhausted. I've been going to therapy, he said, since the divorce, trying to understand what happened, why I defended my mother when I should have protected Lily. Okay, I said, not sure where this was going. My therapist helped me see patterns from childhood. My mother was always the victim. always needed defending, always had me between her and consequences, and I learned to prioritize her feelings over everything else. Over you. Over Lily. Over reality. I could have told you that, I said. I know. But I wasn't ready to hear it. I am now. Jess, you were right. About everything. My mother abused Lily. I enabled it. I chose wrong, and I'm sorry. Okay, I said again, not sure what he wanted from me. I've cut off contact with my mother, completely. No calls, no visits, nothing. She filed that lawsuit and I realized she'll never stop. She'll never take responsibility. She'll keep hurting people and expecting me to defend her. That must have been hard, I said, and meant it. It was. It is, but it's necessary. Lily is my daughter, my responsibility, and I failed her. I'm trying to do better now. I'm glad, I said. For Lily's sake. Is there any chance? Derek started. For us? I looked at my ex-husband, saw the regret, the growth, the therapy helping him see what I'd been trying to show him for years. No, I said gently. I'm glad you're working on yourself. I'm glad you finally see your mother clearly. But Derek, you defended her abuse. You blamed me for her cruelty. You chose her over our daughter. I can't forget that. Can't trust you not to do it again if she finds a way back in. Derek nodded, tears in his eyes. I understand. Can I at least be a better father? Can we co-parent better? Yes, I said. We can do that, and we did. Derek stopped making excuses for Carol, started enforcing boundaries, became finally the father Lily deserved. 3 years after the divorce, Lily is 8 years old. She's thriving, happy, confident, secure in both her parents' love. She sees a therapist occasionally, just check-ins now, not intensive treatment. The damage Carol did has largely healed. Do you remember Grandma Carol? I asked Lily recently, curious. A little, Lily said. I remember she lived with us. And she was nice sometimes. But she said mean things about you. Do you understand now that those things weren't true? Yeah, Lily said easily. You love me. You work because you're good at your job, and we need money. That doesn't mean you don't love me. Exactly right, I said, relieved that the lesson had stuck. Lily sees Derek every other weekend and Wednesday evenings. Their relationship is good. Derek's actually a better father now that he's doing it alone, without Carol's interference. I was lazy before, Derek admitted during one custody exchange. Mom did everything. I just showed up for the fun parts. Now I have to do bedtimes and homework and tantrums. I get it now. How hard you worked while she was telling Lily you didn't love her. Thank you for saying that, I said. I'm still at the tech company. No longer remote, but with flexible hours I negotiated after proving I could handle the workload. I got promoted last year, Senior Director of Marketing. The career I fought so hard to keep is flourishing. I'm also dating someone. Marcus, a project manager I met through work. He's kind, supportive, and respects my career. He's met Lily, slowly, carefully, after months of dating me. They get along well. He's not trying to be my dad, Lily told me after Marcus's 3rd visit. He's just nice. I like him. I like him too, I said. Carol is still in Portland. Still alone from what I hear through mutual connections. Derek maintains no contact. She's tried to reach out. Apology letters, gifts sent through intermediaries, requests for just one chance to see Lily. Derek forwards them to me. We agree on the response every time. No, maybe when Lily's older, Derek says. When she can decide for herself if she wants contact. But not now. Not while she's still vulnerable. Agreed, I say. Sometimes people ask if I feel guilty. If I think I was too harsh keeping a grandmother from her granddaughter. No, not even a little. Carol had 5 years of access to Lily. She used that access to psychologically abuse a child. To undermine my relationship with my daughter out of jealousy over my career. To try to force me into a role I didn't want, stay-at-home mother, by destroying my daughter's sense of security. She did that deliberately, systematically, over years. And when confronted with video evidence of her abuse, she showed no remorse, just doubling down, filing lawsuits, trying to punish me for setting boundaries. That's not a grandmother who loves her grandchild. That's an abuser who used a grandchild as a weapon. I protected Lily from that, and I'd do it again. Do you ever regret having the nanny cam? Maya asked me recently. Never, I said. That camera saved Lily. Without that video evidence, Carol would still have access. Would still be poisoning her. The camera captured truth that everyone else wanted to minimize or excuse. Derek would have kept defending her, Maya agreed. And Lily would have grown up believing her mother didn't love her. Would have internalized Carol's toxic messages about working mothers. Would have been damaged in ways that might never heal. Instead, Lily's healthy, knows she's loved, understands that mothers can work and love their children. That's worth everything. I think about that Tuesday afternoon sometimes. Coming home early, checking the camera, seeing my daughter cry while my mother-in-law destroyed her sense of security. The rage I felt, the determination to protect Lily no matter the cost, that moment changed everything. My marriage ended. My relationship with Derek's entire family ended. I spent 2 years in legal battles and court, but Lily is okay. That's what matters. She's 8 years old, and she knows her mother loves her. She's confident, happy, doing well in school. She has both her parents actively involved in her life. She's not being psychologically manipulated by someone who used her as a weapon. That's not too harsh. That's protecting your child. Last week, Lily made me a card at school. Best mom ever, it said, with drawings of us together. She gave it to me with the biggest smile. Do you really think I'm the best mom? I asked, holding her close. Yes, Lily said without hesitation. You work hard so we can have nice things. And you still play with me and help with homework and make me laugh. Aunt Maya says that makes you a superhero. Aunt Maya is biased, I said, laughing. But it's true, Lily insisted. You do everything. I don't do everything. I fail constantly. I lose patience, mess up dinner, forget to sign permission slips. I'm not a perfect mother, but I'm a good mother who works. And thanks to that nanny cam, thanks to standing up to Carol, thanks to protecting my daughter even when it cost me my marriage, Lily knows that. Believes it. Is secure in it. Carol tried to teach Lily that working mothers don't really love their children, that careers and motherhood are incompatible, that I was selfish for having both. But Lily learned the opposite, that women can be both mothers and professionals, that love isn't measured in hours spent at home, that protecting your children sometimes means hard choices and painful boundaries. Those are better lessons, healthier lessons, true lessons. And Carol? She's alone with her bitterness and her lawsuits and her victim narrative. She lost access to her granddaughter through her own cruelty. She lost her son through her own manipulation. She has exactly what she earned. I have my daughter, my career, my self-respect, and my peace. That nanny cam didn't just capture abuse. It captured proof. It gave me the evidence I needed to protect Lily when even her own father wouldn't. It documented truth that people wanted to deny. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I hadn't installed that camera. If I'd never seen that footage, if Carol's abuse had continued unchecked, enabled by Derek, damaging Lily for years. But I did install it. I did see the footage. I did act on it. And 3 years later, looking at my healthy, happy daughter, I know that camera saved us both. Carol told Lily I didn't love her. But actions speak louder than words. And my actions, protecting her, fighting for her, choosing her well-being over my marriage, those actions proved Carol wrong every single day. Lily knows I love her. Not because I say it, because I showed it. By standing up to her abuser even when that abuser was her grandmother. By refusing to let anyone hurt her, even when it cost me everything. That's what love looks like. And no amount of Carol's lies can change that truth.